What is up, guys? Exclusive Zebec CEO interview. Bombshells were dropped. Cue my guy Indigo Saint. Let's get it. Boom. Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Blackrue Investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer?
Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifest. So we binge on our Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. Got course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. So thank God for that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing.
What's up, guys? We're going to break this down really quickly today, but definitely come over to the Coin Vault at some point. Like me and Max and Rob are going to make a recording, and that's also, that's definitely a different product than just me reviewing it myself. We inspire each other, me, Max, and Rob. So, definitely want to tune into the Coin Vault and get that. But today we're going to go solo dolo and talk about it a little bit here. Let me bring it up here and we'll get straight into it. I see all the comments over there. Appreciate everybody. Delta Ghost, King Pound, D Curry, Jetpack, Hitter all day. Appreciate y'all. We're going to get right into it here. Let me share my screen. And honestly, I think this was the most comprehensive interview Simon's ever done. This is the second time he's been on Paul Barron. So again, for all the haters, all the people that says Zebec is a scam, this is the second time he's been on Paul Barron. Paul Barron has millions of subs, right? This is like his second channel, but let's get right into it here. Just further validation for Zebec and what they have going on. But let's go. Let's do it.
With seamless on and off ramps to local bank accounts.
Okay, in the token. All right, that's interesting. Real world use. One of the things around credit cards that I think always wins me over is these rewards. Whether it's a direct cash back or it's some sort of loyalty program that I get benefits on. How are you guys going to be able to deal with that? Because I know you guys are mapping to MasterCard right now. What is that going to look like?
So for our first few years, the priority has always been the lowest fees in the market, right? That was our hook to get customers to use our products. Now that we're in more of a mature business, what we're exploring is introducing a reward program in ZBCN that would be tied to your staked balances of ZBCN as well as your card spend. So if you hold a lot of ZBCN, you stake it in the super app, and then you spend a lot of money on Zebec cards, you will earn a cashback rewarded token.
Oh, okay. All right. In the token.
Correct. In the token.
In the token. All right.
So shout out to Simon for this. Very dapper black shirt there. Simon looks really nice. He mentioned this first on our exclusive interview that we did with him. Shout out to the Patreon. He still didn't mention some stuff that he mentioned in our exclusive interview with him. Sign up for the Patreon. Cheaper than a cup of coffee. And we have weekly open mic nights. Also, we have weekly Symbolism Sundays and exclusive chat rooms. But, he did mention the rewards. This is one of the questions I asked him. And now he's getting to it with Paul Barron here. It's good to see that. So some of the rewards, the rewards, the more tokens, the more ZBCN you hold in there, the more you stake, you will be rewarded with more tokens and additional things here. So let's continue.
That's interesting. Do you have any new features that you're going to be releasing later this year?
So within the super app, there's a number of features that are on the horizon, including direct on and off ramp, as well as an integrated wallet in the super app. So that's going to come through our partnership with Stripe. Stripe, of course, is the development and the owner of Privy Wallet. So Privy Wallet will be built into the super app, meaning that if you're not a crypto native person, you don't have to worry about connecting your Phantom wallet or your MetaMask wallet. Rather, you have a wallet as a service built in with seamless on and off ramps to local bank accounts.
Okay.
So that Privy Wallet is very, very important. That's going to make it very easy for someone who's not a crypto native person to use the super app. Because again, this is where we're headed, guys, where everything is going to be payment in real time. Everything's going to be streaming because it's going to be needed to be streaming. Okay. Honestly, not dystopian, but this is where we're headed. We're headed to a point where inflation is going to be to a point where no one can really afford a house, right? Where you're going to need to have real-time payment. You're going to need to be paid by the second, right? With Ripple's technology, cross-border payments, stable coins, the fees are so low that real-time payment really makes sense. Okay. It really, really makes sense. So again, incomes and that like Zebec, you want to make it so that everybody can use it. They don't need to know about using a MetaMask. They can just use it as quickly and as easily as their Google Pay app. Like just how you do it on your iPhone where you scan your card, now you're tapping everything. This is what they want. This is what they're going to have through Stripe and Privy. Okay. Now, Stripe has been doing so much lately, like with MasterCard, and MasterCard's been doing so much lately with agentic AI. Like, guys, I know the prices are down right now, but all the infrastructure is being put into place. Every last bit of the infrastructure. So all we have to do is wait for this price to catch up with the infrastructure. And it's going to happen. But let's continue here.
Interesting. So via Stripe.
Via Stripe, exactly.
Okay. So that's going to roll out in 26.
That is going to be coming this year in the next month or two. So once the first version comes out, version 2 will have that baked into it. And then another very exciting feature that we're looking at adding this year on the roadmap is virtual IBANs. So we'll be able to create virtual bank accounts that sit within the super app, meaning you'll be able to move money seamlessly from your stablecoin balances, your payroll, into an IBAN, and then you can use that to make payments in, let's say, the fiat world.
Okay. So for our audience, explain an iBank. Is this a traditional ABA number, which is the banking association number that correlates wire routing and all that kind of stuff? Would it work the same way?
Exactly. So an IBAN is the international version of what Americans know as a bank account with an ABA and a routing number.
Yep.
They're fully virtual. They support multiple currencies. So you'll have an IBAN for your euros, you'll have an IBAN for your US dollars, for your pounds, and then you'll be able to go between a pound stablecoin and your pound IBAN and your euro stablecoin and your euro IBAN.
Wow.
And the reason that this is so powerful is that it completely replaces a banking app. It completely replaces an app like Revolut, right? And it's built on stablecoins before anything else.
And this is going to be available in the US?
This is going to be available in the US. Yeah.
All right.
Now that virtual IBAN, that's really huge, guys, right? This will cement Zebec in the super app for being a global app, right? And note Paul's question, because you wouldn't believe that something like that would be available in the US because it could invalidate a lot of banks. But yes, it will be available in the US. That's pretty huge, guys. That's pretty huge, guys. And that goes right into what I was telling you guys. There's going to be a gig economy for everything. And what this is going to benefit the most is US companies. They will be able to pay anyone from the US to a foreign worker, right? And why this benefits them is because, honestly, those workers over in other countries, they get paid way less than we do, right? So now you can pay them in any preferred stablecoin that they want, and you can do it from the US. Totally okay, right? So when you think about this, right? If you're an American company and you want to save some money, let's say you want to hire an engineer, you're probably going to hire an engineer from another country where you can reduce your fees. Instead of hiring an American engineer where it will cost you a lot more money, you will hire an engineer from Germany or Russia or Pakistan or, Dubai. So honestly, this is going to be a big benefit for American companies who want to gig out their white collar or blue collar jobs. Of course, some of these things are going to go to agentic AI anyway, like HR and things like that. But I'm thinking more of the engineering, the like legal, all of this stuff. Well, legal might be a little bit more complicated because you might not have a license to practice the bar in the United States, but things like engineering and things like that, electrical, any type of engineering job, right? Any type of mathematics, any type of physics, any type of higher level kind of thought job, they're going to probably farm it out because it'll be cheaper. Okay, let's continue.
So okay, so you don't need a master account to do this.
Correct.
How are you getting by not getting a Fed master account?
We have through some of our banking partners, we have coverage in this area, and we're using banks APIs for the IBAN. So we're not going to be hosting the IBANs through Zebec.
Okay.
Our banking partners. Yeah.
Who custodies the assets that are in there?
And see, we've said this before that Zebec didn't necessarily need all of these compliances because they can probably inherit it through other banking partners they have. So they don't need a master account. According to their CEO right there, Simon, he says they don't need the master account to do this. They're inheriting it through their banking partners.
Who custodies the assets within the super app?
Yeah.
So we have the way it's currently built is it's a non-custodial solution. So the wallet that you use essentially will be your own private key, and you'll have to custody it yourself. But when we bring Privy Wallet later this year, that will be a fully custodied solution.
So that would be a custodied solution. Right now, on the super app, I'd still be able to plug in my Solana wallet or my base wallet,
or have the option to go non-custodial or custodial.
Okay. So as far as KYC, where is the KYC wall going to hit?
Yeah, so it's a great question. We have different levels of KYC based on the product that you're using at Zebec. So if you want to have a card, that's kind of the first level of KYC. And then from there, if you want to set up a payroll, for example, and you're an enterprise, you're going to need to do a basic KYB if you're paying employees or contractors.
Yep.
Now, on the recipient end, you only need to do a KYC when you move money out of the system, right? So you move money to a bank account, for example, or you move
out of the system.
Yeah.
And I have full capacity. If I'm in the system, I can move back to my wallet and be on DeFi and traditional hardware or software.
It gives you the ultimate flexibility.
Yeah. Any kind of limits that are within this app? Because this is one of the things that I think people hate about bank accounts. There's always limits everywhere you look.
Well, look, there's absolutely no limits in the amount of stable coins that you can send to the app. That's the beauty of using DeFi rails. However, when you talk about the real world products like the cards, for example, there are limits on the cards, but we offer different cards with different limits. Our carbon card, you can spend 10,000 a day. We have a new card that's coming to market. That's going to be the black card. That's going to have multiples of that. So that's going to really be for the enterprise users and not big spenders.
Right.
And then on the staking side, we've limited staking to 5 million tokens per wallet. And that's really a way to encourage retail users to be able to enjoy the benefits of staking rather than some of the larger institutional users that maybe hold many more tokens than 5 million.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be, you may find a lot more institutional getting into this, in the future, just because of the staking features within this. And especially as you guys start to roll into.
So there it is. Paul says you might find a lot more institutions getting into this in the future, right? So again, and he says, especially because of the staking. So if that's the case, and remember, Fireblocks went out and bought 250 million ZBCN. Can we find other institutions doing similar, doing the same in the future here?
To full payroll systems, I think that's when you open up the multi-trillions in the market that's really going to be in capacity. What would that look like for you guys in a 5-year roadmap?
Well, I mean, in terms of our roadmap, I think our number one priority right now on the payroll side is building out our enterprise solution so that way we can serve any sort of company, right? Every company has a different use case. They have treasury needs, for example. So we're bringing a treasury solution to market that's going to sit within that. It's going to have yield in it. So that way enterprises that hold stable coins will earn a very competitive yield, and they'll have more of an incentive to hold funds on chain rather than in their bank account. We're also going to have direct bank account to stablecoin APIs. So that's going to be offered through Circle as well as through Ripple payments, meaning that if you're an enterprise that doesn't have Fireblock set up or doesn't have a custody solution, doesn't want to hold stablecoins, you can still keep your treasury in the bank account. And at the click of a button, when you need to fund payroll, it converts into stablecoin and it loads into the Zebec app, and then the payroll magic begins.
That's brilliant, because maybe a company might have a problem with holding stablecoins, right? But you still make it easy enough for them to say, look, you can keep your traditional bank account. You can keep your traditional fiat. All you got to do is click this button, and then you can still do things the way you did them before. Again, I truly and thoroughly believe the stablecoins are the future, because it's going to reduce the fees that these companies are going to pay. It's going to make it easier for them to track and trace money. However, some companies may still be skittish, and for the skittish companies, you have the solution for them.
I like it. Okay, one thing that I'm seeing utilized a lot by our own followers, members of our own Bear Market Edge, because we talk a lot about where and how to get the most yield. One thing that is interesting is some of the hardware wallets now are allowing what they call yield mode. So if you've got assets in your hardware wallet, you can go into yield mode. They flip it out to the market into DeFi, earn the best that they can for you. Are you guys planning any of that you'd be able to do inside the Zebec wallet or even the card itself?
It's something that we are exploring. To be honest with you, we are starting with more vanilla yield options that are extremely low risk, because at the end of the day, enterprises don't have the highest risk tolerance when it comes to their cash balances. So we've gone more for the native yield solutions. For example, we're going live next week with USX, which is a stablecoin on Solana that offers high single digits yield natively, which is very exciting. And then some of the larger ecosystems as well are bringing yield bearing stablecoins into the Zebec app. So currently we
So other systems bringing higher yield stablecoins into the Zebec app, but now we're getting another stablecoin USX into the Zebec app built on Solana, right? Now I don't know what this means for USDY, right? That they were going to do with Ondo. Let's see how that rolls out. But again, they got USX now with Solana. Confirmed, just said here by Simon Babakani. And then I'm sure they might have something going on there also with World Liberty Financial. We'll see how that goes as well. But very, very cool. Another stable coin we can add to the list for Zebec there.
We do not offer the DeFi yields, but it's something that we're going to consider on the horizon for sure.
That's good. That's good. That'll be interesting to see. Listen, this news popped out today. You got MasterCard going into agents, which are beginning to act. So right now they're introducing MasterCard Agent Pay for machines. So you think about this. You've got...
Now, we broke down this MasterCard Agent Pay thing on the channel. Check out my last couple shows. We broke this down. We also broke it down on the Coin Vault, which you'll definitely want to see, like I said, with me, Max, and Rob. Sometimes Crooks is on there. Sometimes Shook's Focus is on there. Sometimes we got Longview Compute. Shout out to Scott there for even extra views. But again, we inspire each other, and you get to see it from multiple different points of view. But bottom line, again, this should be way bigger news than it is, right? Because MasterCard is paving the way for agentic AI. And if you track it down like we did, tracks all the way to the XRP ledger, right? All the way to the XRP ledger. So this is going to empower all of X402. This is going to empower all the XRP eco tokens involved, all the tokens involved with X402, right? This is huge, huge news that people are going to miss because of the price action. Trust me, the price action is going to catch up to this. And this agentic pay is going to supercharge things way crazy once they get this up and running fully, right? So just mark my words on this. Mark my words on this. And it's connecting a lot of different banks. It's just huge news, and people are so sleeping on it.
Maybe a whole new class of payments being developed here. At what time do you think this rolls into the rest of the finance market? Or do you think this is going to take some time to really make its way into the market?
Well, I think we are still very much in the early innings for Agent Pay. And at Zebec, we really never sought out to build an agentic payroll and payment solution. But in many ways, what we've built in terms of our rails works incredibly well for AI agents, right?
Yeah.
If you're running payroll on chain, you don't need an HR manager to authorize every single payment, right? It's all programmed through smart contracts. You set limits, you set controls, and then the agents run with it, and payroll really starts to run like clockwork at a fraction of the cost, right? When you think about what typical companies are paying for payroll, typically they're paying between $20 to $30 per employee per month. So do the math on how much a Fortune 500 with 100,000 employees is paying. That doesn't even include their HR departments, right? This is just what they're paying the ADPs and the paychecks of the world.
Yeah.
Add on an HR department, right, which includes many people that are running payroll and dealing with tax forms. So our view is that a lot of that can be automated. And similarly with corporate cards, as you mentioned with MasterCards, corporate cards are now going to also need to function within the agentic ecosystem. And by running a corporate card on a stable coin is so much more efficient and easier to track on chain that we believe that's the way the market's going to go when agents take over.
So right now,
when agents take over, okay. Now, again, the whole anyone in HR better be looking over their shoulder right now. Like, this is where we're headed, where HR is pretty much going to be agentic AI ran, but just human. Like, the human is going to make sure that agentic AI is doing everything properly. So they're going to slash HR departments. Like, they're going to cut down majorly on the number of employees and agent in HR, because it's all going to be handled by this agent who's going to handle treasury, payroll, billing, purchasing, all of that. Okay. It's just going to be configured and set up so it all runs automatically and smoothly, and it's going to reduce so much overhead and so much cost for these companies that there will be no other way but to shift to that, or otherwise you're going to be losing so much money as a business, right? Now, one thing I want to go to here, we won't show the entire interview, and again, we're going to talk about this some more on CoinVault, and I'll probably have future shows on this. I want to show you here where Simon says they have countless number of NDAs. Shout out to my guy, Throbbing Lantern, for sharing that with me on X. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I think it's around here.
Good question. I mean, the way we think about it is payroll is just the first and most successful so far use case of real-time finance technology. So what we built at Zebec has been tested now in the payroll market. And from here, we're going to expand into B2B payments, cross-border international payments, etc.
Yep.
So the way that we've set things up is that we'll plug directly into all different types of blockchains. We'll be able to integrate with real-world assets, meaning that if you're receiving your payroll in stablecoins, you'll also be able to reinvest it in tokenized equities, tokenized bond funds. So that way, the entire economy can exist on chain.
And that point right there, once all the equities and the stocks are tokenized, these agents, both from treasuries and from your super app, can now go easily invest in these stocks and ETFs. This is going to supercharge that market too, the stock market, right? It's going to be crazy commerce
on our rails, and we'll continue to track our key success metrics over the next couple of years. And really for us, it comes down to the number of people that are using stablecoin payroll, our share of wallet of organizations. So if stablecoin payroll is offered alongside traditional payroll, what is our percentage in year 1, year 2, year 3, how that grows and how that tracks? Because what we've seen in some of our early pilot programs is that once employees and contractors get used to receiving some payments in stablecoins, and most importantly, trust the system, they're more willing and able to accept more stablecoin payments going forward. So it's really about getting your footing in the door, getting a piece of the share, and growing it with time, as we have enormous market tailwinds behind us right now in the stablecoin space.
Yeah, it's going to be huge going into 2030. And I think the adoption curve that we're going to see on the enterprise side is going to surprise a lot of people.
Very great point by Paul there. The adoption curve, he said he thinks is going to be huge going into 2030, right? Maybe that's 4 years out. But he says the adoption curve is going to surprise people. What does he know? He knows something, right? And keep in mind, Simon told us that a European bank is coming on board as the first enterprise partner for Zebec within the next couple of weeks. So that curve is going to be like crazy exponential. Like, companies are going to adopt this really, really quickly. Why? Because they want to be able to track and trace everything. They want it. It's easier for them, and it will save them money in the long run. Imagine now being able to cut like your whole HR department minus like 4 people, 3 people, right? All those salaries saved. Imagine like what Simon said, the cost of issuing a paycheck or something like that, or doing yeah, I think you said issuing a paycheck for an employee is $20 to $30 per employee. Come on, man. Like the money they're going to save.
Because there's just so much pent up demand in terms of reducing it
publicly. I mean, we have NDAs with countless companies right now that we cannot talk about, but they will be coming to market publicly with it in the next months and the next few years.
Interesting. Okay.
A lot of it is happening.
NDAs
right now. Many of these bigger companies are not comfortable to talk about stablecoins publicly.
Right.
NDAs with countless companies, and I can understand why they're not willing to talk about stablecoins right now. you got Liz Warren and everybody talking and misinformationing people, and oh, Bitcoin's involved with Epstein, with Jeffrey E. and all of this stuff. There's so much misinformation around that I can see why companies wouldn't be comfortable at the moment, right? But ultimately, stable coins are going to be quicker, faster, cheaper. It's going to save them money. Literally, the only thing that a stable coin is really is a digital dollar. That's all it is. But now it's programmable, in which they can do anything with it, but also it has the data attached to the dollar, so they can track and trace all of it. Track and trace all of it. So imagine this, right? Amazon has like a really good Amazon probably can track and trace you better than anything available, because it knows your movie choices, it knows your purchase choices, right? So that's some great data for Amazon to have to track purchasing habits, and based off your movie interest, I'm sure they can decide what to market to you if they do market to you, right? They send you commercials, right, on your Amazon Prime. So of course they're probably going to send you commercials that they think you're going to go on their platform and buy things with, right? Now imagine every time you spend the money, any money is tracked and traced through ISO 20002, through Quant, through the XRP ledger. Everything will be tracked and traced. But on top of everything being tracked and traced, everything's super fast, super cheap as far as the businesses are concerned, to give you the money, to get you the money, and you get it in real time. The biggest advantage from Zebec, they're there the moment you create the money. The moment you make the money, Zebec has given it to you, and they're probably going to be very much in charge of where you spend it, right? Think about how much power and control that is for the super app. And then think about that as a Zebec investor, right? It's just crazy cool, man. Crazy cool. But yeah, we'll be doing some more on this. I'm going to go over there with Max in future now, and we're going to go, kind of pre-record the video. So definitely be on the lookout on the Coin Vault. We'll talk more about this. And I know I usually get into comments, guys, but I can't today. And thank you, Kevin Brinkley, for the $5 super chat. Thank you guys so much for rolling with me here. Yeah, this is the best. I highly suggest everyone go over and check out the interview, so that when you watch this video back, hopefully, or you go over to the Coin Vault and watch and see what we say about it on the Coin Vault, you have a full and complete understanding of what's happening, guys. The world will not be the same in 2 years, and we are in the best driver's seat to take advantage of this. All right, with Zebec and things that we talk about in the Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon. We're heavy on coins that we're looking at to take advantage of this. Let's take advantage of this, guys, and set our families up for the next however long we're here, right? Not financial advice. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you made it to the end, put Baron in the comments, not the live comments, but the comments of the video once this live stream ends. It'll help spread around the video. It'll help get me to 10K. We're so close there. Thank you guys so much. I'm out. Peace.